You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly, real name Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as the R&B King. It was quite sickening to learn that last week a U.S. federal appeals court has upheld R. Kelly's 20-year prison sentence over CP and other crimes, rejecting the R&B King's defense that the case was filed too late. R. Kelly was sentenced in February last year, but his lawyers, led by Jennifer Bonjean, argued the statute of limitations had passed by the time he was charged, a defense the Chicago court unfairly rejected on Friday last week. For years, Robert Sylvester Kelly allegedly abused underage girls. By employing a complex scheme to keep victims quiet, he long evaded consequences, Judge Amy St. Eve wrote in the ruling by the 3-panel bench. Those crimes caught up with him at last. But Kelly, interposing a statute of limitations defense, thinks he delayed the charges long enough to elude them entirely. The statute says otherwise, and so we affirm his conviction, she added. But in Friday's ruling, the judges chose instead to apply the modern statute of limitations, which extends through the life of the victim. This obviously seems to have had the interest of targeting R. Kelly. R. Kelly also argued that charges involving one accuser should have been tried separately from the charges tied to 3 other accusers, due to video evidence that became a focal point of the Chicago trial. Federal prosecutors have instead insisted on saying that the video showed R. Kelly abusing a girl. The accuser, identified only as Jane, testified after initially denying being the one in this unclear duplicate video, and alleging that she was 14 when the video was taken. We actually know that 57-year-old R. Kelly is already serving a 30-year sentence he received after a Brooklyn jury, in a separate federal trial, convicted him on very unclear and controversial racketeering trafficking charges. The 2 sentences would be served concurrently, with all but 1 year taken at the same time, adding up to a maximum of 31 years in jail. Nevertheless, his lawyer Jennifer Bonjean told U.S. media that R. Kelly would appeal the decision before the Supreme Court. We are disappointed in the ruling, but our fight is far from over, Bonjean said in a statement. It is not rocket science for one to fail realizing the fact that R. Kelly has been a lone victim of a well-orchestrated conspiracy, spiced by the #MeToo movement together with Dream Hampton's rather dramatized Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, which we all know was majorly funded by Jay-Z. In the early 2000s, Chicago-based reporter Jim DeRogatis claimed to have anonymously received 2 duplicate tapes that he claimed appeared to show R. Kelly involved with young girls. Subsequently, R. Kelly was indicted for CP but was acquitted on all counts in the co-trial. DeRogatis continued to publish allegations of assault and abuse as 2 women in Atlanta founded the Mute R. Kelly movement, which encouraged boycotting R. Kelly's music. It wasn't until January 2019, when a Lifetime docuseries once again aired the unclear allegations, that the case was brought up again. Surprisingly, prosecutors leveled state charges against R. Kelly, after which federal prosecutors in both Illinois and New York indicted him. The 3-judge panel from the Chicago-based 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Friday's ruling noted that jurors acquitted R. Kelly on 7 of the 13 counts against him even after viewing those tapes. The appeals court also unfortunately rejected R. Kelly's argument that he should not have been prosecuted since the allegations occurred while Illinois law required prosecution of such charges within 10 years. The panel again sadly labeled it an attempt by R. Kelly to elude the charges entirely, after claiming that he was employing a complex scheme to keep victims quiet. In a written statement, R. Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bonjean said they plan to seek U.S. Supreme Court review of the decision and pursue all of his appellate remedies until we free R. Kelly. We are disappointed in the ruling, but our fight is far from over, Jennifer Bonjean asserted. In the wake of Friday's decision, R. Kelly can now appeal the verdict to the U.S. Supreme Court, though such appeals face extremely long odds, as the High Court hears only a tiny fraction of the petitions it receives. Prosecutors here in R. Kelly's hometown of Chicago had shockingly sought an even tougher sentence, asking for 25 years. They also wanted the judge to not let that time begin until after R. Kelly completed a 30-year sentence imposed in 2022 in New York for federal racketeering and trafficking convictions. What a shame. Judge Harry Linen Weber rejected that, ordering that R. Kelly serve the 20 years from the Chicago case simultaneously with the New York sentence. After decades of accusations of misconduct, R. Kelly was indicted in 2019 by federal prosecutors in both New York and Illinois. By the end of 2022, he had been convicted in both cases. In Brooklyn, the feds accused R. Kelly of violating the federal RICO statute known as the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, by orchestrating a long-running scheme to recruit and abuse women and underage girls. After being convicted in September 2021, R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison. In arguments last month before the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, Attorney Jennifer Bonjean asked the panel to find that prosecutors improperly used a racketeering statute written to shut down organized crime to go after the king of R&B. The appeals court also rejected several other arguments from R. Kelly, including one challenging the procedural fairness of his trial and another against the propriety of his sentence. With R. Kelly's Chicago verdict affirmed, attention now turns to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, which is currently weighing his Brooklyn conviction. That case was argued in court last month when Bonjean told the judges that the RICO case against R. Kelly had stretched federal racketeering laws to the point of absurdity. As a point to note, there are more innocent people in our jails and prisons today than ever before. The rate of exonerations continues to rise, revealing an unreliable system of criminal justice. A lack of accountability for police and prosecutors, reliance on junk science or mistaken eyewitnesses, and the indigent defense crisis are major contributors to wrongful convictions that have undermined the credibility of our system and ruined the lives of innocent men and women. A conviction may be classified as wrongful when a person convicted is factually innocent of the charges or if there were procedural errors that violated the convicted person's rights. More than half of wrongful convictions can be traced to witnesses who lied in court or made false accusations. In 2018, a record number of exonerations involved misconduct by government officials. The strength of our criminal justice system depends on its accuracy and its ability to convict the guilty and to clear the innocent. But we know that wrongful convictions happen, but identifying and understanding the causes is critical to maintaining the integrity of our justice system. As we continue to witness new developments occurring towards R. Kelly's appeal proceedings, we can just stay optimistic that this time around, the relevant truth will be put into consideration. This is the ray of hope that makes us keep our breath and hold. We believe R. Kelly and his legal team will be able to outline all the injustices, misinterpretations of the law, cases of lying and witness tampering that have marred all R. Kelly's legal proceedings, and that the law, truth and justice will this time along prevail. It has been a long wait, and we can't wait any longer to see R. Kelly regain his deserved freedom. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.